Let's go over Solo: A Star Wars Story when it comes to its box office results and 5 big reasons as to why it stalled. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, the Han Solo movie released on May 24th, Thursday night, on its pre-opening night, and as the days rolled by, we saw the box office numbers adding up to $103 million for Memorial Day weekend total, for domestically speaking, of course. Now, looking at a piece by Rolling Stone magazine, they go over 5 reasons as to why Solo: A Star Wars Story stalled at the box office. Now, a lot of people, a lot of media out there has been going over how Solo: Star Wars Story bombed when it comes to the box office results, and this is what Rolling Stone had to say. Now, though I do disagree with some of these reasons, I really do believe that the main factor was The Last Jedi Backlash, the Solo: A Star Wars Story boycott, and even some of the marketing formats for the movie. But anyways, let's get in what Rolling Stone had to say. The full story will be linked below in the description. So this is what they had to say for number 1, is the film couldn't actually outrun its bad news. Now, in case you guys have no idea what they are talking about, we're talking about the reshoots, the firing of the directors, and the whole entire thing of Alden Ehrenreich getting that acting coach, all these different things that popped up during production of the Han Solo film. So that was number 1, according to Rolling Stone, is the film couldn't outrun its buzz. The second reason, apparently, as to why the box office stalled is Star Wars fatigue is a real thing when it comes to the community. Now, I, for one, disagree with that. I don't think that Star Wars fatigue is necessarily a thing. I think that some fans are very, upset about what happened with The Last Jedi and how it was handled by Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson, etc. But looking at Solo: A Star Wars Story directly, I don't believe it was because of Star Wars fatigue, strictly because we had 2 Star Wars movies within a 12-month time span. I don't think it was caused by that, so I would have to disagree with that one. The third reason, according to Rolling Stone, is audiences weren't buying Alden Ehrenreich as a young Han Solo. Now, this I could see as a valid point for a lot of people out there, though I have said in my spoilers review and in my non-spoilers review that it does take quite a bit of time, I would say 20-25 minutes or so, to really get used to Alden's take on Han Solo. Though he intentionally did not actually, want to emulate Harrison Ford's version of Han Solo. He just wanted to do his own take on the character, as did the Kasdans. The Kasdans wanted Alden to do his own take on Han Solo. Ron Howard, the director, he was helping out Alden as he took over that film after they fired the original directors, after Kathleen Kennedy let them go. So that I could see as one of the big reasons, but again, like I say, I think that The Last Jedi Backlash and the Solo: A Star Wars boycott are 2 big factors playing a role here. Number 4, alright, according to Rolling Stone, once again, the full story is below, not all spin-offs are created equal. Now, I'm kind of, not sure if I agree or disagree with this, because if you look at Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, yes, it is a war film. Yes, it is more Star Wars than ever because you're essentially, putting that film right before the events of Star Wars: A New Hope, where Solo: A Star Wars Story is primarily a heist movie, something that we have never seen before, and I can see why that maybe not all spin-offs would be created equally. But if you had to ask me, guys, I would say that I'm not quite sure how to answer that reason according to Rolling Stone magazine, which, by the way, I gotta tell you that the Han Solo that we did get and the story that we did get with this movie, there are parts that are very slow for me, a little choppy, and you can tell where the reshoots took place, because we do know that 20% from the original directors and what they directed was actually left in the film. Ron Howard reshot 80% of this movie. That is a lot of work, so I really do have to give him a lot of credit, because we should all clap our hands for all that hard work by Ron Howard. But looking at the movie, like I say, in my spoilers review and my non-spoilers review, it is slow at times, it feels choppy and a little bit shaky, and you have to just get used to it all, and eventually you kind of just enjoy the ride. But looking at the fifth reason, the final reason according to Rolling Stone, alright, Memorial Day weekend ain't what it used to be. Now, do you guys agree that movies would still do well on Memorial Day weekend? Now, looking at Deadpool 2, though it was based a little bit before Memorial Day weekend, that film did insanely well. Now, apparently Solo: A Star Wars Story, Memorial Day weekend was not a great choice to release this film, as some films are not performing well on this holiday, this major holiday that comes every single year, that spans a whole entire weekend basically, right? So, looking at the Solo: A Star Wars Story movie and the box office results, I will say that I would have to disagree with quite a number of these reasons. I'm not quite sure about Memorial Day. I feel like that if I'm a Star Wars fan, I am going to go out on whether it be a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, even Monday, to go ahead and see this movie either in the daytime or the nighttime. Now, I saw on the Thursday night, the pre-opening night, when I went, the theaters weren't all that packed. It was like 50%, maybe even less full for me, and a lot of you guys out there have been expressing the same exact thing. But like I said, I think it's a good movie, just not a great film, and I enjoyed Rogue One a whole lot more. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to morning.